Avengers Campus at Disney California Adventure is home to the latest thrills and a whole lot of fun. But is the food here as heroic as the scenery? We dive into that and so much more. It's time to eat at the Disneyland Resort. Dining review time. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Wade for the Kingdom Report back with you one more time, covering all the latest eats, treats, and delights at the happiest place on Earth. Today at Disney California Adventure Park, where I am hungry and it is morning hours. Therefore, we need to settle in and enjoy ourselves some breakfast. However, at the time of this filming, the Disneyland Resort is still in its phased reopening process, and that means at Disney California Adventure, there's really only two places you can get some grub. One of those places happens to be the Starbucks, the Fiddler, Pfeiffer, and Practical Cafe on Buena Vista Street on the way in. And then the other place is here at Avengers Campus at perhaps the most sought after of all the new restaurants in California Adventure, and that is at Pym's Test Kitchen. Disney says Pym Test Kitchen is a place where you can refuel with Ant-Man and the Wasp's size-defying fare at this epic eatery inside Avengers Campus. They also say it's hero-style dining. Are you on an urgent mission to fight hunger? Then you need to head to Pym Test Kitchen for phenomenal food at unusual scales. Utilizing the revolutionary shrink and grow technology of Pym particles, Ant-Man and the Wasp lead a team of research chefs as they pioneer a menu packed with inventive-sized entrees, tiny treats, and shareable bites that provide the perfect power-up. Much like all the dining locations at the Disneyland Resort right now, Pym Test Kitchen is asking you to place your order via your Disneyland app, so you need to select a time in which you would like your order to be prepared. Once you're there, you can click I'm here, and they will start making your food fresh. Now, something you need to realize is that come lunch and dinner, it's very difficult to get the time frame that you want because they go so quickly. Everybody wants to try out Pym Test Kitchen, but at breakfast, it is a little bit more manageable, far less people back here. I went ahead, ordered up the entire menu for us today, and headed on in just as soon as my app told me that the food was ready. You look around the dining establishment itself, and there's basically a story here as to what they're doing. So as I mentioned, Pym Test Kitchen getting creative, using their technology to shrink and grow food. It is a great story, a great concept, and a wonderful tie-in to the Marvel franchise. You also see via video here exactly what they do, how their technology works. Whoa, look at that pretzel go. It just shrunk completely into a much smaller size. I went ahead and grabbed my food. There is a place to grab your condiments after that, just to the left of the pickup station. And yes, you can't miss it with the giant ketchup and mustard containers. There are only three options on Pym Test Kitchen's breakfast menu at this time, and we start with the calculated breakfast. For $10.99, you get eggs two ways with smoked bacon, crispy potato bites, and focaccia toast. If you've ever watched any of my breakfast dining reviews, you know I'm a stickler when it comes to the bacon they use at Disney restaurants. Either it's the good stuff that's high quality, thick cuts, and crispy, or it's the flimsy, watered-down, paper-thin bacon. Unfortunately, it is the paper-thin bacon here. Palatable, but very disappointing. I guess for the price, it was to be expected. Now, when it came to the scrambled eggs, they were already cold by the time I got to my table. I literally walked from the counter to my table, so I don't know what took the heat away from these eggs, but it made it very unpalatable, and in fact, I only took a couple of bites and didn't even finish the eggs. The fried egg along the side, I mean, this was something that in one bite is gone. I thought it was creative. I liked that. The focaccia toast underneath it, by the way, a nice departure from regular sort of uninspired toast, so that was a nice touch. The ever-expanding Cinnapym toast. This, for $12.49, is the baked Pym particle bread and egg custard with cinnamon sugar topping, a fried egg, smoked bacon, and maple syrup. Now, of course, I know the colors can be kind of a turnoff to people. Those colors are supposed to represent the Pym particles in the bread, so don't freak out and think like, that bread looks moldy. No. It's the Pym particles in the bread. That's the idea. So it's supposed to be fun and creative. I'll tell you, you can definitely taste the cinnamon in this bad boy, which is great. A little mushy. I don't think it was cooked all the way through. And then on top of it, as good as the first bite was, I think by bite 2 or 3, I also consumed some wax paper that was baked into the bottom of it. So again, I was kind of excited going into this. I was looking forward to what I was about to eat, and then because I ate the wax paper, it was a total turnoff for me, and I was again disappointed. We move along to the Impossible Quantum Garden Breakfast for $12.49. It is plant-based folded omelet with Impossible breakfast sausage, crispy potato bites, and again, with the focaccia toast. I do have to admit, the Impossible meat that I have been eating at the Disneyland Resort recently has been packed full of flavor, has been leaving me quite satisfied after every time I've had it, and yeah, it does the trick. I mean, I can't tell it's not really meat, so I guess, that's the whole idea. But on this day in particular, while the flavor was there and there was certainly some spice to the sausage, the consistency of how this was prepared was the big turnoff. And that really came down to the fact that I couldn't get past how this just tasted like I was eating a Jimmy Dean sausage from my supermarket freezer section, like it had come out of a microwave, like it had just been frozen for a while. That's how it tasted. That was the consistency. And then next to it, the folded plant-based omelet ended up kind of tasting like tofu, really. It was just sort of a soft mass that took on the flavor of anything around it. So a bite of this, and I was again uninspired, didn't necessarily want to finish it. The standout on this plate ended up being the potato bites. Yeah, those tater tots were great on every plate. I didn't eat all of them off of every plate. I had one here, one there. And then on top of that, the focaccia toast, as I had mentioned, a really great creative way to incorporate toast without being bland and boring like you would normally see with like sourdough and white and wheat toast and stuff. Focaccia toast ended up being great. Now, out of all of these, I would say that the Cinnapym toast, the ever-expanding Cinnapym toast, that is definitely the winner. That is definitely one that I would get again. However, I stopped eating it on this day just because there was wax paper baked into the bottom. I'm sure it was an accident, but it was such a turnoff as I was eating the food, and I didn't want to eat anymore. But packed full of cinnamon, and definitely one of those things that I thought, like, okay, if worse came to worse and I needed to pick a breakfast option at Pym Test Kitchen in the future, I would definitely be getting the ever-expanding Cinnapym toast. This location only has exterior seating, so only outside. Everything indoors is dedicated to essentially the queue pickup area for all of the food. So as soon as your Disneyland app lights up that your food is ready, there is space for you to go and grab it. The staff is dressed up like researchers and scientists, which is, I think, a great tie-in to the films and the whole concept behind the restaurant, right? They're getting creative, inventive with what they're doing. And lunch and dinner here is definitely the bigger star. Breakfast you don't hear much about, and as we just saw, probably for good reason, unfortunately. But if you can't find seating outside in front of the restaurant, they have annexed, it looks like, all this space over here next to Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. It is the former courtyard where they basically put all the thousands of people right before the Frozen Live at the Hyperion show. Since the show isn't going on right now and we don't have a return date for it, they've annexed the space and turned it into auxiliary seating for Pym Test Kitchen. So definitely something to know about, especially if you can't find a place to sit during those more popular lunch and dinner hours at Pym Test Kitchen. Avengers Campus in general is a really fun place to be. I enjoy hanging out here. There's so much entertainment going on. It is very entertainment heavy. There are a lot of superheroes around. There are a lot of various shows happening. There's a lot of stunts going on. The music is very dramatic. And if you're a fan of the cinematic universe, you're going to love this place in general. I would say that if you have to get breakfast and there is no other option, you're not willing to stand in line over at the Starbucks and you want something really tangible, your eggs, bacon, stuff like that, not just your pastries that you can get at the Starbucks on Buena Vista Street. Pym Test Kitchen, again, go with the Cinnapym toast. Probably steer clear of the other two options just because they did fall flat, unfortunately. But this is a location that is at least fun to take pictures in, at least fun to get to know and experience. And again, grab your lunch and dinner here. Try and avoid the breakfast if at all possible. Folks, if you haven't done so already, make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss an update. And if you like what you saw today, hit that thumbs up button. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had the breakfast here or if you plan to in the near future. And for the Kingdom Report, I'm Wade Heath. We'll see you next time for another Disneyland Dining Review Time.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.